Chapter 21 of Ayesha, the Return of She. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Ayesha, the Return of She by H. Rider Haggard. Chapter 21. The Prophecy of Atene. On the day following this strange experience of the iron that was turned to gold, some great service was held in the Sanctuary, as we understood, to consecrate the war. We did not attend it, but that night we ate together as usual. Ayesha was moody at the meal, that is, she varied from sullenness to laughter. "Know you," she said, "that to day I was an oracle, and those fools of the Mountain sent their medicine men to ask of the Hesea how the battle would go, and which of them would be slain and which gain honour? And I could not tell them, but juggled with my words so that they might take them as they would. How the battle will go I know well, for I shall direct it, but the future, that I cannot read better than thou canst, my Holly, and that is ill indeed. For me the past and all the present lie bathed in light reflected from that black wall, the future." Then she fell to brooding, and looking up at length with an air of entreaty, said to Leo, "Wilt thou not hear my prayer and bide where thou art for some few days, or even go a hunting? Do so, and I will stay with thee, and send Holly and Oros to command the tribes in this petty fray." "I will not," answered Leo, trembling with indignation, for this plan of hers, that I should be sent out to war while he bided in safety in a temple, moved him, a man brave to rashness, who, although he disapproved of it in theory, loved fighting for its own sake also, to absolute rage. "I say, Ayesha, that I will not," he repeated, "and moreover that if thou leavest me here I will find my way down the mountain alone and join the battle." "Then come," she answered, "and on thine own head be it. Nay, not on thine, beloved, on mine, on mine." After this, by some strange reaction, she became like a merry girl, laughing more than I have ever seen her do, and telling us many tales of the far, far past, but none that were sad or tragic. It was very strange to sit and listen to her while she spoke of people, one or two of them known as names in history, and many others who have never been heard of, that had trod this earth and with whom she was familiar over 2000 years ago. Yet she told us anecdotes of their loves and hates, their strength or weaknesses, all of them touched with some tinge of humorous satire, or illustrating the comic vanity of human aims and aspirations. At length her talk took a deeper and more personal note. She spoke of her searchings after truth, of how, aching for wisdom, she had explored the religions of her day and refused them one by one, of how she had preached in Jerusalem and been stoned by the doctors of the law, of how also she had wandered back to Arabia, and being rejected by her own people as a reformer, had travelled on to Egypt, and at the court of the Pharaoh of that time met a famous magician, half charlatan and half seer, who, because she was far-seeing, clairvoyant we should call it, instructed her in his art so well that soon she became his master and forced him to obey her. Then, as though she were unwilling to reveal too much, suddenly Ayesha's history passed from Egypt to Kor. She spoke to Leo of his arrival there, a wanderer who was named Kallikrates, hunted by savages and accompanied by the Egyptian Amenartas, whom she appeared to have known and hated in her own country, and of how she entertained them. Yes, she even told of a supper that the three of them had eaten together on the evening before they started to discover the place of life, and of an evil prophecy that this royal Amenartas had made as to the issue of their journey. "Aye," Ayesha said, "it was such a silent night as this, and such a meal as this we ate, and Leo, not so greatly changed, save that he was beardless then and younger, was at my side. Where thou sittest, Holly, sat the royal Amenartas, a very fair woman, yes, even more beautiful than I before I dipped me in the essence. Foresighted also, though not so learned as I had grown. From the first we hated each other, and more than ever now, when she guessed how I had learned to look upon thee, her lover, Leo, for her husband thou never wast, who didst flee too fast for marriage. She knew also that the struggle between us which had begun of old and afar was for centuries and generations, and that until the end should declare itself neither of us could harm the other, who both had sinned to win thee that wast appointed by fate to be the lodestone of our souls. Then Amenartas spoke and said, Lo, to my sight, Kallikrates, the wine in thy cup is turned to blood, and that knife in thy hand, O daughter of Yarab, for so she named me, drips red blood. Aye, and this place is a sepulchre, and thou, O Kallikrates, sleepest here, nor can she, thy murderess, kiss back the breath of life into those cold lips of thine. So indeed it came about as was ordained, added Ayesha reflectively, for I slew thee in yonder place of life. Yes, in my madness I slew thee, because thou wouldst not or couldst not understand the change that had come over me, and shrankest from my loveliness like a blind bat from the splendour of flame, hiding thy face in the tresses of her dusky hair. Why, what is it now, thou Oros? Can I never be rid of thee for an hour? O Hes, a writing from the Khania Atene, the priest said with his deprecating bow. Break the seal and read, she answered carelessly. Perchance she has repented of her folly and makes submission. So he read: To the Hesea of the College of the Mountain, known as Ayesha upon earth, and in the household of the overworld whence she has been permitted to wander, as star that hath fallen. A pretty sounding name, forsooth, broke in Ayesha. Ah, but Atene, such stars rise again, even from the underworld. Read on, thou Oros. Greetings, O Ayesha. Thou who art very old hast gathered much wisdom in the passing of the centuries, and with other powers that of making thyself seem fair in the eyes of men blinded by thine arts. Yet one thing thou lackest that I have, vision of those happenings which are not yet. Know, O Ayesha, that I and my uncle, the great seer, have searched the heavenly books to learn what is written there of the issue of this war. This is written: For me death, whereat I rejoice; for thee a spear cast by thine own hand; for the land of Kaloon blood and ruin bred of thee. Atene, Khania of Kaloon. Ayesha listened in silence, but her lips did not tremble, nor her cheek pale. To Oros she said proudly, Say to the messenger of Atene that I have received her message, and ere long will answer it, face to face with her in her palace of Kaloon. Go, priest, and disturb me no more. When Oros had departed she turned to us and said, That tale of mine of long ago was well fitted to this hour, for as Amenartas prophesied of ill, so does Atene prophesy of ill, and Amenartas and Atene are one. Well, let the spear fall, if fall it must, and I will not flinch from it, who know that I shall surely triumph at the last. Perhaps the Khania does but think to frighten me with a cunning lie, but if she has read aright, then be sure, beloved, that it is still well with us, since none can escape their destiny, nor can our bond of union which was fashioned with the universe that bears us ever be undone. She paused a while, then went on with a sudden outburst of poetic thought and imagery. I tell thee, Leo, that out of the confusions of our lives and deaths order shall yet be born. Behind the mask of cruelty shine mercy's tender eyes, and the wrongs of this rough and twisted world are but hot blinding sparks which stream from the all-righting sword of pure eternal justice. The heavy lives we see and know are only links in a golden chain that shall draw us safe to the haven of our rest. Steep and painful steps are they whereby we climb to the allotted palace of our joy. Henceforth I fear no more, and fight no more against that which must befall. For I say we are but winged seeds blown down the gales of fate and change to the appointed garden where we shall grow, filling its blessed air with the immortal fragrance of our bloom. Leave me now, Leo, and sleep awhile, for we ride at dawn. It was midday on the morrow when we moved down the mountain side with the army of the tribes, fierce and savage looking men. The scouts were out before us, then came the great body of their cavalry mounted on wiry horses, while to right and left and behind the foot soldiers marched in regiments, each under the command of its own chief. Ayesha,